Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Canty, and this is another episode of Living Enlightened Every Day. And I am passionate about helping people discover different ways to love their life and live their passion with joy, with authenticity, with power, to truly love their life, love every minute of it, regardless of what is happening. That's an interesting key, regardless of what is appearing in our lives, because our joy, our peace, our power is within. Today, I'm asking the question, how can we be happy every day, joyful every day? Can we be happy and joyful every day? Is that even possible? Why? Because many of you are asking me that question. Let's explore. Before we begin, I just invite you to take a moment, to take a breath, to breathe in and check in with who you are being right now. Are you being curious? Are you excited to explore this notion of being happy, being responsible for your own happiness? Because if you are curious, if you're excited, if you are looking for answers for yourself, you will find them. And today, we're exploring, how can I be happy every day, regardless of what my life looks like right now? So I'm going to begin with an unusual quote. Jack Kornfield said, "The whole purpose of Buddhist psychology is the discovery that freedom and joy are possible in the face of the sufferings of human life." He said, "By neither grasping nor resisting life, we can find wakefulness and freedom in the midst of our joys and our sorrows." The joys and sorrows of life are always happening, right? That's life constantly changing and morphing into whatever it changes and morphs into, whatever's next. And living enlightened does not mean that we aren't affected by the changes, but it does mean that we can be in the flow, tuned in to those changes. We can be in the flow with the changes as they come. Jack Kornfield mentioned grasping and resisting. In my book, I talk about staying out of the jar, judgments, attachments, reactions, and resistance. When we are not attached, holding on to what is, making sure that it does not change. When we're attaching or grasping, or when we're resisting what appears to be coming around the corner, we're saying, no, I don't want that. I don't want this to end. I don't want to leave my job or my relationship. I don't want my kids to grow up. Well, we're going to be sorely disappointed, because change is happening. And so when we're not in the jar, when we're staying out of judgments, attachments, reactions, and resistance, we can become fully present. We can become awake, aware, and alive in whatever is happening as a flow. In the same way that waves come and go on the beach, we watch waves happening. We don't say, stop the wave. There's the perfect one right there, and I want everything to stop in this moment. Because think about it. If we saw that perfect wave, the sun was in the perfect location, the clouds were just perfect, the colors were perfect, everything we have deemed to be perfect for our visual sensory input, and everything froze. And that was the way it was forever and ever. We would be bored very quickly. But this isn't about boredom. This is about not ever being able to do that anyway. It would be a fantasy. It would be silliness to even think that we would have a perfect wave, a perfect sunrise, a perfect sunset. They're all incredible and they're all indicative of the change that is constantly taking place. So when we become fully present in the change, we have this deep sense within, it is within, not without, of that which never changes. What is that that can never change? It is our deep sense of presence or awareness. It is that in which our world is unfolding, the world, the universe, the multiverse, however you want to say it, it is unfolding in presence. And so when we become still, when we're neither grasping nor resisting, we become still and we are the presence witnessing and being a part of, taking part in these changes, life unfolding. Sometimes we call this presence within peace. We feel very peaceful. Some of us tend more towards peace. Sometimes we call it this deep sense of abiding love. Some of us we would call more loving presence. We might think of that as nurturing or giving, perhaps. And sometimes we call it joy. I would be more joyful. That is, I think, my natural expression of life. How I feel connected to life is very joyful. And when we are connected, we flow through life like water in a river, just flowing around boulders, around rocks, splashing and then moving around, not getting stuck in boulders or in ebbs and flows. No matter what's happening outside of us, we stay connected and tuned in to this ever present awareness of, we can call it peace, we can call it love, we can call it joy, we can call it so many other things. Some people are that represents this power within. Why, we can imagine people like that. They're standing in their power, in their authenticity. Some people might call this their creative center. They're going, maybe the artists, the musicians in the world. So that's the true benefit of living enlightened, is no matter what is happening around us, we can be in our true essence and in our expression of it. Many of us are looking for joy or peace. And where is happiness? Where is it? How do we find it? How do we get it? What is it? Have you ever found yourself at work and you think, I just need a break? I've got to walk outside and just feel the sun on my skin, or look at the garden, or listen to the birds and feel happy, feel free, whatever the word is. Is happiness in nature? Sometimes we're looking for that happiness in a partner, in a spouse, or in our children, in our families and siblings, parents, friends, our friend group, our colleagues. We call them up looking to tell them a story or ask them how they are, open a dialogue. We know that communing with them will lighten and brighten our day. Is happiness in our relationships? Sometimes when I'm alone, I'll think of one of my childhood favorite dishes, chicken pot pie. And I'm thinking, oh, that would make me happy. I'm going to go shopping, get all the ingredients, and make my grandmother's recipe for chicken pot pie, and I will be happy. And while I'm at the grocery store, I'm going to get some mint chocolate chip ice cream, because that will make me really, really happy. Is happiness in food or in our memories? When we're sitting at home alone, wondering what to do next, what am I going to do next? We might ask, what would make me happy? And we run through the list. Should I call someone? Do I have a favorite show recorded? Are there any new good books that I haven't read, or any of my friends home that I can call and they'll, cheer me up or tell me a story? Or is there any chocolate mint chip ice cream left? Where is this happiness? We might have decided to, drive a Tesla because it's cool, it plugs in, it saves the environment, and we think it will make us happy. Or we drive a VW van because we think it's cool. We're going to drive this icon until it, disintegrates on the side of the road, because we're remembering, we're having a memory or an idea that it will make me happy. An artist creates because she knows it will make her happy, and the musician plays because he knows it will make him happy. And I've come to realize that when we want anything in our life, think about it. All the things that we want in our life, we want them because we think it will make us happy. As humans, we're looking for happiness 24/7. We want to go to sleep because that will make me happy. I need to wake up because that will make me happy. I think it's because we know inherently, deeply within, that we are meant to be happy. We are created to be happy. There is something within us that tells us you can be happy. We tag on to that. If you do this, if you buy that, if we just stopped it right there, you can be happy. It doesn't come from the outside. We were absolutely created to be happy. And I invite you to substitute the word that you like: joyful, peaceful, powerful, free, creative. Pick your word, but we are created to be that. But it doesn't come from the outside. And we can spend a lifetime or 2 or 9 thinking that if I just reinvent myself one more time, I'll get it right and I can be happy. But when we discover that the source of true happiness comes from within, it can never be disturbed, it can never be diminished, it can never be bothered. It's not dependent on anything that we do. It's not dependent on the conversation we're having or not having, on what we can buy, can't buy, eat, participate in, remember. It's not connected to any of those things. When we realize that our true nature, our nature is joy, we can connect with that which we are always. And then that is how we flow with life. It is only our thoughts, our ideas, that as this is happening, I will be unhappy. If I get fired from my job, I will be unhappy. If I don't have enough money coming in to pay for this, that, and the other, I will be unhappy. I won't be able to be happy or joyful or free or creative under these circumstances. We've already decided that, because we're not being present to what is, which is the joy, the peace, the love that is within, and the connectedness to everything that is happening outside. Meaning, we don't have to ignore what's happening outside, right? It's happening. I'm being let go from work. My rent is being doubled. And I, under the current circumstances, cannot afford that at this moment in time. There's things that are moving us into a change. When we understand that any sense of separation of our happiness, that it comes from the job, or it comes from the rent being this low, or it comes from this being with this one particular person or this group of people, when we feel that we are going to be separated from that, we lose our happiness, we lose our sense of peace, we lose our sense of connection, but that is based on separation. We can never be separated from our source, from our good, from our God, if you use that term, from the universal presence, the life that is living us, breathing us in this moment. We cannot be separated from it and from all of life. We can heal this sense of separation, become completely present, and feel the connection to love, peace, and joy that is within. Does that mean we won't choose to drive the Tesla or the VW or create art or music or make chicken pot pie? No, we choose and we create. But instead of looking for those activities, for those circumstances, for those relationships, for those items to make us happy, we've completely demolished that myth that it's going to make me happy. We are happy and we do those things. We bring our joy into buying a new car or into creating a recipe that our grandmother created for us when we were young. We are bringing our joy into that activity, and we are enveloped in the joy that we are as we are living our lives. So what that also means is that as something feels like it is taken away from us, the job or the relationship or the opportunity, we know, oh, I feel like my joy is going to get sucked out through this avenue over here, through this door closing or whatever's happening. We can just breathe and remember there's nothing that can disturb our true nature. Nothing. There's no storm big enough to disturb the sky. The sky, no matter how big the storm, no matter how much the destruction, the sky is never marred. It's never broken. It's never split. That's us. We're the sky. Our joy, it may morph into a sense of flow or a sense of empowerment or a sense of peace or a sense of surrender, depending on the storm. But it will never be broken. It will never be taken away. And that's why we can turn within, breathe, and connect to it always. It's breathing us, it's living us. We're no longer seeking happiness, we're bringing happiness. And I don't even like to use that word bringing happiness. We just are being. We're just being in our joy, in our peace, in our power, in our creativity. And when we can no longer drive the Tesla or the VW or create art or play music, we're not unhappy. Right? We're no longer unhappy. We're just going with the flow or riding that wave. Because again, those activities we realize we have created that they did not bring our happiness. We brought our happiness to them as they morph, as they change, as the circumstances, relationships, activities, situations change. We bring our sense of wholeness and fulfilledness. Is that a word? Fulfillment into the next circumstances, because there will be a next circumstance. And when we realize that happiness is that quality of our essential nature, our essential self, it's always available. It is who we are. And then we realize that to become happy is really kind of a misnomer, because we don't become what we already are. We can recognize it, remember it. It's like, oh, this joy is who I am. So we stop looking for it. It's not out there. We don't even look for it within. But when we release the need to find it without, it is on the next breath. It is right where we are. So there There are sayings that it doesn't matter ultimately what job you are in, what relationship you're in. It matters who you are being, who you are showing up as in that job, who you are showing up as in that relationship. So we stop looking outside of ourselves for things to make us happy, and we bring that joy and wonder and awe with us, that sense that we had when we were children and we first looked at butterflies and dragonflies and fireflies and minnows and raindrops. We bring that deep sense of joy and awe and wonder because it's on every breath, that childlike wonder, the realization that we are a walking, moving, breathing miracle, and that our joy can be uh, communicated as energy, as frequency. It can reverberate in all of our activities. And it feels like they're bringing us joy. It feels like they're bringing us happiness. It's the other way around. We're bringing it. We're connected to it and communing it to everything and everyone else. Now, it doesn't mean, of course, I say it all the time, that life doesn't come along and challenge us. You know, the hurricanes happen, my favorite example, because they do. And you have to pick up and you have to evacuate. And would you say you're joyful and happy as you're scrambling to get those things that you need and find a path out of town that seems safe for you and your family and your dog and your goldfish? We wouldn't necessarily call that joyful, which is why I'm careful to say that it's the same quality of inner connectedness to source or present, but it doesn't have to show up as joy all the time. There was a time in my life before my son was sick, I would have said, I am the happiest person I know. I've never met anyone happier than I am. Doesn't mean I have the most money. God knows. It doesn't mean I have the best job. Anyone could attest. It doesn't mean that my circumstances look perfect to anyone else. But I felt I am the happiest person I know. And I would say, if anybody could be me for a moment, not even a minute, but a moment, there would be no war because there's an inner sense of harmony and flow and creativity. Oh, you can be creative over there and I can be creative over here. Whether we agree or not has nothing to do with it. We can be for ourselves our highest expression. And when my son got sick, when my son experienced illness for quite a long time, at least 4 years, and we're dealing with health issues, medical doctors, hospitals, billing, insurance, mental health, all of the things that can be overwhelming when any of us receives a diagnosis we weren't expecting or the diagnosis of a loved one. So could I say I was the happiest person that I know? Nope, I could not. And so I know that I could not say I was the happiest person I know. I had to breathe into that space of knowing who I am and who my son was and who all the doctors were, the insurance systems, the medical systems, the mental health system. But I had to breathe into that communion all the time. And I had to be empowered and I had to be in peace and I had to be in harmony. So those other qualities came up, and it wasn't joy most of the time, but believe me, the moments of joy that came up were amazing. As all of those moments were the empowerment, the harmony, the surrender, all of that came up during that time because I was willing to breathe and still my mind enough to know myself and my true nature and my true essence in that process. And I was able, as I said with Joy earlier, to bring that power, to bring that peace, to commune it into the situation, whether it was the pain and suffering of my son, whether it was um, the problems with the medical billing, with the insurance companies, with, you name it, whatever it was, I could still be in the flow of life and releasing the stresses of that situation, the situations, events, and things that were happening through that. And now I am back. It's been probably a couple of years after the 4 years, right? And it took a while to really come back to the source of true joy, true happiness, which is, again, I would say, my natural expression of spirit. That spirit, as Elizabeth walks through life, very joyful. And it's back and it's different. It's not the same. It's not me going back to how things were. It's me moving and evolving and growing, but always being present to that which never changes. Awareness, the essence of life, living itself as me, while everything else is changing all around me. Pandemics come, diagnoses come, being let go of jobs, being fired, hurricanes come, death and dying comes. And we find a way to deal with change and loss and grief. But we always have access to that deep sense of presence, power, joy, love, harmony, creativity, all of that which we are, while we're neither grasping nor resisting, but acknowledging and allowing what is to be. Because while we allow what is to be, we can allow who we are, our true nature, to be with that. So when we're going about our everyday life's challenges, we have access to an unlimited joy, power, love, peace, presence that is never disturbed by circumstances. It's never lessened. It's never obscured. Right now, you can just feel breathing into the presence of joy that is right where you are. It's in your heart beating, in your hair growing, in your eyelids fluttering, in your skin flushed. It's right where you are. It's like that fountain that has an eternal source in your life. Rupert Spira said, happiness is not the opposite of unhappiness any more than the blue sky is the opposite of the clouds. Just as the clouds are the veiling of the blue sky, unhappiness is the veiling of happiness. Unhappiness is simply veiling our true nature, which is always there. The blue sky is always there. So when we look outside of ourselves for joy, we may or may not find it in the Tesla or the VW or the chicken pot pie or the brand new relationship. But it is certain that if we find it in those objects, it is short-lived. It's short-lived. It wears off. But the joy that is within, that can be excited about every situation that you find yourself in. That doesn't wear off. That doesn't change. It doesn't have to go away. When we place our attention on our true nature, the source of our happiness, we know without a shadow of a doubt that that is our true nature. sadness, fear, doubt, worry comes, and it is a sign to us, a signal. We never want to deny those things. They're just signaling us to turn within, face the fear, face the doubt, face the things that worry us, face them from the power that is already within us. And we will be guided and directed powerfully to do what it is we need to do to prepare or to take part in those activities. When we lose our job, we take the necessary steps to find another job, but rather than focusing on the fear, the worry, the doubt, we can actually take the same steps that we need to do, updating our resume, making the phone calls, posting on job sites, but we can do all that we need to do without fear, without worry, without doubt. What does that leave us? It leaves us in a state of empowerment. It leaves us in a state of optimism. It leaves us in our natural state of joy or peace or harmony. And most of us realize by now that as we are taking those steps that we need to take anyway, and we are in our state, our nature of joy or peace or power or harmony, then that is what we are attracting. That's the energy we're putting out. But if we're posting on those job sites or making those phone calls out of fear, guess what that frequency or vibration is? Fear, lack, limitation, worry, doubt. So it is a win-win mechanism built into who and what we are. We are the divine emanation of spirit. We are love living its life as us. Joy is not in the activities. It's not in the relationships. It's not in the processes. It's within. It's who and what we are. And we bring it. Just bring it. Bring it every day. The key to happiness is being happy. And if we find ourselves in those moments where we're not happy, don't deny the pain, the doubt, the worry, the fear. Let them point you back inside to the truth of your being. Let them be reminders. Oh, fear, I'm familiar with you. I know who you are. You've been around. And I know why you're here, to remind me the truth of my being. Wow. And speaking about fear and my son's illness, it's right there, it's right on the surface. It's right there. The fear that comes with some of life's circumstances. And we can live in the fear, and we can think that is who I am, fearful and limited and lacking. We can think life is unfair. We can blame, and we can rant, and we can rage, and it won't change anything because I've tried. I've been there. What changes everything is being present to Source, living, breathing us, and guiding us into the love and the peace and the joy that we are, knowing that this too shall pass, and whatever is next is coming, and we can invite it. Whatever it is, we can invite it because we know who we are. We're resting in it. We're standing in it. We're communing it with all of life. It's living us. I invite you this week to take some time and explore, why you want the things that you want to change, and allow that they will one day, sooner or later, everything changes. But why you think you needed to change, and if it's to make you happy, or to make you more peaceful, or to make you feel more powerful or empowered, turn within and practice the presence that you are. Bring that to the situation and watch as it changes. It will. Sometimes I say, the search for happiness will end in failure. Searching, looking for it implies that there is something I am not. There is something I don't have as my true essence, and I have to get it. I'm grasping. So when we stop grasping, stop resisting, right there is the true essence of our nature. I invite you to reach out with any questions or comments. Maybe this sparked some ideas for you in your life. Maybe you can relate to the idea of joy, happiness, peace, power. It's not out there. It's always in here. So if you liked this, please hit the like button and subscribe, and you'll get notified every time we have a new video coming out. And consider sharing it with a friend. Maybe they're ready to know that their inner peace, their inner joy, their inner happiness is available to them right here, right now. You can find more information about me and about more ideas like this on my website, elizabethcanty.com, and it is available in my award-winning book, Living Enlightened, The Joy of Integrating Spirit, Mind, and Body, and that's available on Amazon as well, and I will put a link to those in the notes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Elizabeth Canty, and this is Living Enlightened every day. Join me each week for a new insight into how we can love our life and live our passion. And remember to laugh, love, and choose happiness every day.